Hey, how can I help you?
Good, how you doing? I have a clock lighter that I found at my grandfather's house.
Every lighter should have a clock on it. You could really burn some time with that.
I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to try and sell my great-grandfather's lighter. I didn't need it, so I just came down to try and make a little money. I'd like to get $2,000 for the watch if I could. I probably would be willing to walk out of here for $1,000.
So do you know anything about it?
I don't know a whole lot about it at all, no.
This is neat. This is a 1930s Dunhill lighter. Dunhill's an English company, but I believe their lighters were made in Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland. And in the 1930s, we had a depression going on. Not a lot of these were sold, and you had to be very well off to get one. It was like $100 in the 1930s, which right now is like $7,000.
Go, Grandpa.
Dunhill is a British company that's been making high-end accessories for men since the late 1800s. And their lighters have always been their most popular item. Of course, now they make a gold lighter that sells for over 13 grand.
It's a pretty good idea. Something like MacGyver would have.
It was made in the 1930s.
Oh, James Bond.
Let's see if the clock works. It works. It's 80 years later, and everything still works on it. As far as collectible lighters go, Dunhill is it. This is the one to have. It's really rare.
That's great.
Just this lighter by itself in really good shape, without the watch in it, they go for like $1,000. And in really good shape, they go for like $2,500.
Super.
Okay, now we have this problem right here. It's beat to hell. That might just look like a little dent back there, but it's a really big issue. It's worth like $1,500 in this condition.
I get antique lighters in here all the time, but I love Dunhills. They're known for their quality, and collectors love them. I just wish this one was in better shape.
What were you looking to do with it?
I was looking to sell it.
How much did you want for it?
I was looking $2 grand.
$2 grand's not gonna happen. It's more like $1,000.
Oh, we just said it was $1,500.
You go open up your own store and, hire some employees, do a little advertising, sell it in your store for $1,500.
Well, I really would like to get 12 for it. I disagree with you. The dent just gives it character.
My best price is $1,100. That is the best I can do.
The best. You're not,
The
nothing
best.
more.
Nothing more.
Not a nickel more.
Not a nickel more. I'll let you walk for a nickel.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. All right, go write them up, chum, and don't play with it.
When he first offered me $1,000 for it, I thought he was being a cheap ass. But, we settled on $1,100, and I'm happy with it.
So what do we have here?
British medals. 1 military medal and 3 chivalry medals.
Okay, pretty cool. All of Europe, they were really, really big on their medals, especially England. I mean, if you look at pictures like 100 years ago, some of these people had so many medals, it would give you a bad back.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my British medals. I picked these up at a thrift shop in England. When I saw these medals, I had to have them because I knew it was a rare find. This was history. You're never going to find these again. I'm hoping to get $3,000 for all 4 medals.
This is interesting. British medals, it's a really complicated system because there was civilian ones, there was military ones, there's different orders, and they also had 20 degrees of each medal. And there's so many different ones. Every time there was a new king or queen of England, they would come up with a new medal. So tell me exactly what you have here.
All right, this medal here is the volunteer decoration for 20 years of service by an officer in the British Army. 3 other medals are chivalric medals, the Royal Victorian Order, the Order of the Bath, and the Commander of the British Empire. Those were given for services to the sovereign.
Okay. So, how much do you want for all these?
$3,000.
All right. It seems like you know a lot about these things.
Oh, yes.
I just want to know for sure exactly what they are. There's a really, really big collector market, and I know these can be worth a lot of money. So, do you mind if I have my one buddy take a look at them? He literally will know everything there is to know about these. I really trust him. So if you can hang out for a few minutes, I'll go grab him.
Sure.
I'll be right back. 55 years old, never got a medal for anything. Maybe Royal Order of the Pawn? See what we got here?
Ah, very nice. Well, let's take them one at a time. This is the volunteer officer's decoration. After you've done 20 years in the volunteer army, you were awarded this. This award only existed between 1892 and 1908, when the volunteer service became the Territorial Army. And this award ceased to exist.
Okay.
This is very nice. We have the Order of the Bath. The interesting thing about the Order of the Bath was it was instituted by George I, and it had to do with bathing, purity, all of that. It still exists today. The Order of the Bath is a big deal. It's just a high-ranking order that is issued by the monarch, and that's a big deal. This is the commander of the Order of the British Empire. This was issued both to military and civilians for either cultural service or military service. It's the one that, you know, when you see the Beatles getting a medal, it's given for a major service to the empire. And this is, very nice, Royal Victorian. Now, this one is either military or civilian for what I don't know. You know, you'd have to look up that particular serial number if you can get the records and find out who it was awarded to and for what.
Okay, so what do you think?
These are actually in very nice condition, and the boxes are also in very nice condition. That's something that, after this many years, you often don't see them in this nice a shape.
Well, thanks for all the info. You're the
Not
best.
a problem. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll give you $1,500 for them.
In the middle, make it 2,200.
Nope. I'm thinking I'll probably get $2,500 out of these things.
What's the best you think you could do?
1,600.
Make it 17, we'll have a deal.
$16.25.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. $16.25. I'll meet you right over there, and I'll get you paid.
Okay.
Is there a medal for negotiating skills?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how you doing? I wanted to know if you, by any chance, have any old Nevada prison tokens for sale.
Not at the moment.
Okay, let me flip it around. How would you like to buy some old Nevada prison tokens? They're very hard to find.
You know what? I don't have any plans of going to jail in my life, so.
Okay. What makes these prison tokens really special is that Nevada had a casino that operated inside the maximum security prison. To my knowledge, that didn't happen anywhere else in the United States but Carson City, Nevada. I'm walking in with $1.41 face value in old Nevada prison tokens, and I'm hoping to walk away with a lot more than that.
They're pretty rare, considering that you pretty much had to go to prison between the 1930s and 60s to be able to have access to them.
Right.
You know, the last thing they wanted you to have in there was cash. But the funny thing is, in Nevada history, to operate a table game, you are not allowed to be a felon. They somehow had a casino in the prison that was ran exclusively by felons. And it worked. You know, the guy who was operating the table, he could then take these and go spin them throughout the prison, chewing gum, or I'm sure somebody was taking these for toilet wine he was taking.
This is just a little documentation, just kind of shows, you know, what the inside of the casino looked like.
Wow. It looks like they actually even got one of the old craps tables out of the sands, if you look at it. It says sands on it. You know, the inmates look like they're having a good time.
Better than breaking rocks, jeez.
The casino at the Nevada State Prison is just legendary. Where else in the world would a bunch of criminals get to run a legitimate gaming place? And they got away with it for over 3 decades. How much money you want for them?
I'd like to get about $850 for the stack.
I don't have a doubt in my mind that I could sell them. I think $850 is just way off, man. We're way far apart on what I'm willing to pay.
900?
I was thinking more around the range of 4.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna need you to do better than $400. I mean, honestly, these are really tough to find. This guy right here, there's probably only 5 on the planet.
Okay.
And these, I figure, are easily $100, $125 each.
I'll go $450.
How about 6.5? I mean, in your shop, being in Nevada, you would have a perfect place because no one else is gonna have these.
500 is the best I could do, buddy.
Let's go ahead and do it.
All right, man, deal.
All right.
Get me over there.
I'm walking away today with $500, and I'm gonna put this in the vacation fund and take my wife to Maui.
Earlier, we got a call from a guy who wants to sell his old slot machine. So Corey and I are headed out to take a look. What is this thing?
Well, I think it's a roulette slot machine, so...
Roulette don't look nothing like that.
I called the guys down at the pawn shop to come out and look at my Piccadilly Circus slot machine. It's time to sell it, and I could use the money. I'd probably take 400, but let's see what happens.
That is definitely different. Where in the world did you get that?
I got that in town here from a dealer, and it was used in a casino. There's an insignia on there with some Japanese writing, so maybe it was made in Japan.
All right. It's most likely from the 60s or 70s just because of the design of it. I love this kind of technology because it's really weird inside generally, especially for something when there wasn't a large amount of them made.
You've never seen another one like it, so
I
it
have
probably
never
was.
seen one like it. It was probably the only one in Vegas. Slot machines have been around for over 100 years, and they're still by far the most popular way to gamble in Vegas. Some casinos get 70% or more of their revenue just out of slot machines. I think this is what you do. If you put 1 quarter in and you bet it on the 2, you get 2 quarters back, but if you bet 2 quarters on the 2, you get 4 back.
Yeah, that's way too complicated.
Let's bet. We put a couple quarters in there, bet as many as we want on each number.
How do you bet a 12 when there's not a 12 on that wheel?
That part I don't know. Here we go. It just paid us about $4.
We generally tend to buy a lot of slot machines because they're easy to unload. But since no one even knows how to really play this thing correctly, it's going to make it a lot harder to sell. What do you want for it?
I'm looking to get 500 for it.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 300 bucks.
400 work?
$350 and we'll make money off Chumley on this thing.
375, we split it, we make a deal. I got about $100 worth of quarters in there.
Okay.
So that comes with the deal. You buy the machine, you get the cash that's in it.
It's up to you, son.
Guys, I think you'll do all right with it.
At $350, I don't get hurt that bad. If it takes me 2 years to sell it, I can live with that. $350, boss, that's the best I'm gonna do.
Well, I want to sell it, and I appreciate you coming out. So I'll take the $350.
Sounds good, boss, I appreciate it.
I was hoping to get a little bit more money, but the offer was fair, and I can take the cash and move on and do what I want to do with that.
Hey, can you help me carry this in?
Sure.
Thank you.
Rick, I got something for you to look at.
All right, what have we got here?
We have a lithograph from Al Hirschfeld. As you can see, Charlie Chaplin.
Dude, I love Charlie Chaplin.
Why aren't you sweeping?
Because you know how much I like art? Just wanted to check out this item and learn a little bit of history.
Yeah, it's a good history lesson.
Actually, he doesn't like sweeping floors.
Oh, okay. I like Al Hirschfeld's art because it represents the world of music, entertainment, Broadway. I purchased it for $3,900, and I'm planning on walking out with a profit today.
God, it's cool. You know anything about it?
This one is titled The End, and Al Hirschfeld died in January of '03. This was done in '02.
Doesn't really look like the end. I mean, he's smelling a flower and he has a cane made of hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Really, chum? He was a really interesting guy. He was really known for his playbills for all the plays on Broadway. He did The New Yorker, The Times, and he literally, for over 70 years, that's how he made his living, just drawing pictures. Al Hirschfeld is one of those guys where if you don't recognize his name, you'll definitely recognize his art. This guy was a legend in New York, and if he drew you, you knew you had arrived.
I wanted to also show you something else, which is a very fun piece of his artwork. He does it in every single drawing. His daughter's name is Nina.
Mm-hmm.
So see if you can find where it's hidden. Very good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, sort of like his trademark.
Yes.
Even during World War II, bomber pilots, part of their training was they would show their bomber pilots pictures of Hirschfeld and say, find the Ninas.
It was sort of like a training program to help them notice the smallest things.
Details.
So when did you buy this?
The day he died.
The day he died. All right. And how much do you want for it?
$5,000.
All right, okay. I can tell you did like the massive the huge mega mistake with art. Never buy it on the day a guy dies. Because everyone marks it up like crazy. I'm gonna call somebody in. I'm gonna have them take a look at it. I just wanna see what his stuff is going for now.
You don't think it's real?
I think it's real, I believe it's real. My problem is I wanna know what he's like in the market and how long this takes to sell. I mean, quite frankly, if it's gonna take me 5 or 6 years to sell it, I don't want it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go give him a jingle. You sweep the floor.
Yeah, I'm on that.
This is the Hirschfeld.
Yes,
Very
the
nice.
one.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it. Charlie Chaplin, the little tramp.
The
walking
little
off.
tramp?
That's
Watch your language in here. We have customers.
Okay, the word has changed a little bit over the years. It used to mean like a homeless person, something like that.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is, I think, the last limited edition print that Hirschfeld ever did.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Very apropos. You've got Charlie Chaplin kind of walking off into the sunset. I know he did that on a lot of his films at the end. A lot of people don't know this, but Charlie Chaplin actually knew Hirschfeld.
Oh, I didn't
As a
know
matter
that.
of fact, Chaplin was one of his very first customers.
Okay, that is definitely cool.
Hirschfeld did his caricatures for the better part of 80 years, which is amazing. And really, his quality from the time he started doing it in the 1920s to his passing really never wavered. It was always identifiable as a Hirschfeld.
So how long would it take him to doodle a piece like this?
You know, he was pretty quick. Caricatures a lot of times can be kind of garish and grotesque, but he always, you know, did charming works. You know, you always looked at him and smiled, and this piece is no exception. Rick, did you have some concerns, or?
What, is this stuff still selling?
Yeah, I mean, he's an artist that is going to stand the test of time.
So what do you think it's worth?
That's the big question. I would say in a gallery setting, especially one on the East Coast where he's most renowned, you'd probably be looking at $4,000 to $6,000.
Thanks, man. You're
Hey,
the
Rick,
best.
always a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks, chum. I think the real genius of Hirschfeld was just his ability to capture the essence of a performer quickly. And he captured it in a really loving, fun way that I think people responded to.
He said $4,000 to $6,000 is what it would sell for in a gallery. Okay, I'd give you like $2,000.
Well, he said 4 to 6. You know, I would like to get at least 4,000.
Okay, I cannot buy it off you for $4,000 and sell it for $4,000 to keep the doors open.
Right.
You know, it's.
He said 4 to 6, so there is some profit margin.
Okay, I have to assume I'm probably going to get 4. I'll probably market 5 grand, 6 grand. People walk in, they bargain. I'd go like, I mean, I'd go like 22.
22, 25.
I mean, I'll go 23.
How about, I'm 25, you're 23, 24. We're both happy.
2,300 is what I could do.
Come on, just go up a little bit.
2,300 is the best I'm going to do.
Okay, well, if that's your best offer, I'll take it.
Oh, you'll take it? Okay. I thought you were going to walk out the door.
It was that close.
All right, well, cool. Chum, go right her up, then sweep the floor.
I'll meet you at the counter. You can leave this here. I already swept the floor.
Thank you.
So I'm glad this worked out. It's going to look great on the wall in the pawn shop, and hopefully it'll be a quick seller.